big one of these? So he can have one?
They gonna fix this. I called them today.
Yeah, but it doesn't help him today.
I know, but no, it's in the office. If I want back through there, oh, I might. I'll see if I got it.
Why is everything so damn difficult?
Huh?
Why is everything so difficult?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's the only size.
No, that's all right. That's all right.
All right, so this is this, so I can put that over there, and we can put this over here. You got a new front page if you didn't know.
What's that?
You got a new front page. He'll do what he normally does and
I'm good.
stick the Sharpies in there.
All right.
That's what I was giving you a call about earlier.
Yeah, I was going to work.
Before when you go to the legislative agenda, we'll have it. Okay, so down here? Okay. Right before the review of the agenda items? Okay. That's it.
I don't get dinner until I get out of here.
Me too. It's usually warmed up for me.
And I don't have a sticker about it. I might become Charlie Walker or something.
That means you got another.
Do you want to start promptly at 6?
Okay. Yep. Yep.
He wasn't 19 years, right? I thought he was
So, Kenny, if we start and he's not here, can he just come up? Like, how does that work?
Don't know. I've never had a counselor now. No, I would imagine that he would come up and you'd have to add the records and counselor to call him.
Okay. Does that sound right? What? If Vincent's late, when he comes in, we just add him to the.
I guess so, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Set a limit, I guess set a limit on speakers.
How many speakers are there?
15?
Mayor?
How many for the helicopter thing?
So, Kenny, before the mayor comes up here, would you guys have any issue limiting the public speakers to 5 minutes? There's 15 public speakers.
Isn't that normal for 5 minutes?
It's regular public speaking, it's for the public hearing.
The public hearing. Public hearing.
Oh,
There's 15.
I got no.
There's 10. 10? So
And
you
then
have
there's
5
5,
minutes.
and then there's
15
something
minutes.
else. Or
For the next one.
what's the other?
This is agenda item 1, 2, 3.
No, that's fine, but I'm talking the
Here
other,
comes Vince.
the one
Okay.
for the,
Are you guys okay with that? So for the public hearing, there's 15 people. We can limit it to 5 minutes per speaker.
I think that's fair. Because
Okay.
the only one that I think that we should give the limit is Jennifer. They're doing the presentation.
He made it.
Yeah, Center should maybe get a little bit longer.
He made it.
How long their presentation is.
Okay.
So is everyone good with that? So for the public hearing, 5 minutes? Okay.
I'm not getting no recording.
Gotcha. Yes. So that's directed at me. I got you. Send me a signal if I will.
So Vincent, or I'm sorry, just walked in. Dante and have to give any like follow-up that we agreed to limit it to 5 minutes, or?
No, we'll use 5 minutes.
Okay. And Vicky, we are gonna limit it to 5 minutes for the public. That's ready? Okay. Call the meeting to order. Call the roll.
Councilmember Bax? Here. Councilmember Collins?
Here.
Councilmember Miles?
Here.
Councilmember Tompkins?
Here.
Council Chairman Zajac?
Here. Okay. Then the prayer and the pledge by Councilmember Call.
You don't have to believe as I believe, but you pray to whoever you pray to. Father God, I pray to you in the mighty name of Jesus, Father God, saying thank you for the opportunity to serve this city. Thank you for this meeting, Father God. You say by your word where there is unity, there is a blessing, Father God. So may unity be had today as everybody express their opinions and their views on their topics and as we carry forward throughout the business of this great, great nation, Father God. So we say thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of the minutes from the special meetings.
Approval of minutes from the special council meeting of November 1st, 2022. Budget work session number 1 of November 10th, 2022. Public hearing of November 15th, 2022. Budget work session number 2 of November 15th, 2022. Budget work session number 3 of November 17th, 2022. Budget work session number 4 of November 22nd, 2022. Special council meeting of November 22nd, 2022. Budget work session number 5 of November 30th, 2022. Council meeting of December 14th, 2022. And special council meeting of December 28th, 2022.
Move it.
Call the roll.
Councilmember Bax?
Yes.
Councilmember Carley?
Yes.
Councilmember Miles?
Yes.
Councilmember Tompkins?
Yes.
Council Chairman Zajac?
Yes.
This item has been approved.
Okay. We'll move on to our public hearings. The first public hearing, and let's see, relative to consider the flight plan of Fly Hummingbird LLC pursuant to Chapter 301.04 of the Codified Ordinance.
Our first speaker is Dan Leonard.
And ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Leonard, before you speak, in speaking with the council members up here, in the interest of fairness, due to the number of individuals signed up to speak, we are going to request that you stay within 5 minutes for the public hearings.
Also, I want to ask if you would speak directly into the mic, so please keep it up to your mouth, because these sessions are being recorded, and I cannot hear you clearly if you don't speak into the mic. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Thank you, councilors. My name is Daniel Leonard. I am the local president of the National Air Traffic Controllers Association. My question to the councilors is to change the flight plan. Can somebody kindly explain to me what they want to change?
Hearing, this is just kind of for you to share your thoughts with us. We don't really have a dialogue.
Okay, but what are you changing?
Again, sir, we don't have a dialogue. So if you have something you want to share with us, by all means, and then we can digest
Sure,
that.
okay, well, then it's going to keep it real simple. The National Air Traffic Controllers Association shows that there's U.S. restricted airspace above Niagara Falls. We'd also like to share that this is not the venue to allow any operations in United States restricted airspace, nor do I believe that you have the right or authority to allow those operations. We would be opposed to those operations or to changing or allowing to be changed, which I do not believe this council has the authority to do, the airport facility directory, which is a national order and stipulates how they are to fly over the Niagara Falls scenic area. That's it.
Our next speaker is Mr. Paul Lane.
evening, Mr. Chair, members of the council. My name is Paul Lang. I represent Fly Hummingbird, the applicant here this evening. We appreciate the opportunity to come and speak to you. Let me just describe for you what this is, this application. The good news is it's easy. The city and the community are already well aware. They're very familiar with what is being proposed here. It's been done for 30 years in the same location and in the same way as what is being proposed here. Fly Hummingbird is proposing to just adopt the same helicopter tour routes from what is known as the NK80 helideck in the commercial, non-residential area a block from the Rainbow Bridge where it's been done for 30 years. When the lease became available here for that helideck, that's what brought us to this day. A little bit of background. Principal of the applicant is a third-generation U.S. military veteran and saw an opportunity here when that lease became available. Knew, of course, that in addition to the pure dollars and cents of running a business and making a viable business here, the only way that it's going to work is in a partnership with the community and community involvement and support. So in the due diligence, bringing us leading up to this day, Hummingbird engaged with a number of folks in the community to seek out and determine not what Hummingbird thinks is the community's problems and issues, but what the community thinks. So as part of its due diligence, Hummingbird engaged extensively with business leaders such as Pat Proctor, who many of you may know. Pat Proctor helped us identify the community concerns, especially noise. That was not a surprise. But what was really important was the noise-sensitive areas. His experience of 30 years doing this exact work from that location to know where in particular the challenges would be so that we had an opportunity to work on those challenges proactively and mitigate impacts. Helped identify how we could become a meaningful part of this community. Because if we are not a meaningful part of this community, this business doesn't work. We also reached out and spoke with Daniel Teig, NFNY Hotel Management, one of the largest commercial business leaders in this community, also happens to be our landlord. And our business doesn't work unless we are in partnership with he and his company. He also helped us understand how to best fit into this community and all its concerns, not just noise, but actually truly being a part of this community, hiring as many local folks as we can, so on, and just truly being a part of the community and sensitive to noise in the ways that only experience doing this work can show. We're short on time here. I can't really go into any more detail. I am happy to take any questions that the council may have. But in closing, Hummingbird very much appreciates the opportunity to see if it can make things work here in Niagara Falls and run a viable business, which it believes it can. And we respectfully ask for your approval on their application so that they can promptly move forward at the beginning of this tourist season, which they hope can start as early as May 1. And we very much look forward to becoming a full and meaningful part of this community. Thank you.
Pat Proctor.
Good evening, Pat Proctor, consultant for Fly Hummingbird, returning home to where I thought I was done with, but it's great to be back to smell the chamber in here And it's also great to smell the jet fuel flowing through the air in a clean way. A purpose of me coming up here is just to let you know that the same thing as the attorney said was, it's a community and it's a business group together. It's not here to ruffle feathers. We know noise complaints are a big deal. Even when we had Rainbow Air, it was a big deal. But I was always at the front of the line, and I'm putting my name out there to let you know one thing. The partnership between the city, the residents, and the tourists are the most important things, along with safety, which will be keeping up, which we always have done before. Understand one thing. We are accessible. We have a phone number. We have a place that's easy to find. It's been there for over 30 plus years. And understand that the door will always be open. We're creating jobs. That's a big thing for the city. You don't want to take away a local's food on the table just by saying, well, someone new's coming in. This isn't new, folks. This is a yearly process that has to take place. Every year someone comes in to get an air certificate to fly for the restricted airspace that's approved for it. Has to step in front of the council. When I came in this hall today, I didn't know exactly what I was going to say. I didn't want to write anything down because more likely I would just say screw it. I want you to trust me. I want you to trust Fly Hummingbird. And there's no ill will towards Rainbow Air. Business is business. With 9 million people coming to this area year in and year out, it's time to provide more, not just jobs, but satisfaction for the tourists that come in here. And also, if you have family coming into town, let's provide for you as well. I'm always open for questions. I'm always easy accessible to talk to. And at this time, if you have any questions, please feel free. If not, I leave it in your hands to please make the right decision. And understand that we are here for safety reasons. We're here for the community. We're here for you guys. Thank you for your time.
Good evening, Council. My name is Daniel Togg, and I represent NFNY Management, which operates the Sheraton, the Wyndham, the Niagara Inn, Rainforest Cafe, Torrent, Chill 443, and Starbucks, as well as the location 454, the Helideck. Our company employs over 500 associates a year. Our company has also leased out the Helideck for the past 5 years to Rainbow Air. Last year, Rainbow Air's lease was expiring, and when we did not hear communication back from Rainbow Air, we put it out to bid. Many helicopter companies reached out to us, and that's when we awarded it to Fly Hummingbird. Once the bid was awarded, it was brought to our attention that the NK-80 was illegally closed by Rainbow Air previous without NFNY Hotel Management's knowledge. Once this was brought to the FAA, they reviewed the paperwork that was submitted, which I have copies if anyone would like a copy, and the FAA acknowledged that it was closed illegally, and without our knowledge, they reinstated the airport NK-80. Fast forward to today, Hummingbird provides no different service than Rainbow Air. In fact, they actually bring a new experience to Niagara Falls. Both these companies are here to provide tours to the local community and tourists from different perspectives, just like the Maid in the Mist. Hummingbird Helicopters has invested in the future for this site. They have the old trading post, Three Sisters, that's been sitting vacant. They've completed renovations and made the experience more than just a helicopter ride. I encourage anyone to stop by because it looks fantastic. They use local vendors to complete this work. If Hummingbird didn't come in to do this work and sign this lease, this property would just be another vacant lot in the downtown area. That's not what we want our visitors from Canada to see, nor do we want any visitors of local to see as well. I ask the council, as a local businessman that represents NFNY Management, one of the larger bed tech suppliers of the city of Niagara Falls, to support Fly Hummingbird in this venture, and I thank you.
Good evening. My name is Ralph Jeremy. I've been a citizen of the city for 40 years. The problem that I'm having is the people you have running this city, like code enforcement, DPW, and some of the cops. The biggest problem I have is last year, DPW and code enforcement came to my house. They
I don't mean to interrupt you, but I think you might have signed up for the wrong So this is a public hearing for the Fly Hummingbird helipad? Were you looking for the good of the community?
I guess so.
Okay, so that would be a different sign-up sheet. That would be for the end of the meeting.
My bad.
That's okay. Did you want us to move your name to that?
Yes.
Okay. Vicky, if we could do that, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Jeremy.
The next speaker is Gerald Stern.
Good evening. I'm Gerald Skridling from Niagara Falls, New York. I have been listening to that helicopter fly over for 22 years. And sometimes I wear earmuffs. I use earmuffs sometimes for working too, but you know, it's a loud noise. And very interesting because the reason why it's so loud is because the tips of those wings are breaking the sound barrier. Those are actually mini sonic booms. I believe that's correct. If I'm wrong, let me know. But anyway, I am sure tired of that noise. And it's so loud that we have to stop speaking and wait till it flies over. So if the pattern can be changed, I hope so. If the one gentleman who brought up some legal situations, I don't know anything about that and don't know anything about companies changing hands or things like that, but we do live in a country that supports competition in commerce. Thank you.
Next speaker is Martin Moreno.
Hello all, I'm Martin Marino. I think most of you know who I am. My deal was I'm really not prepared to come up here today. I didn't decide I was gonna come up here until this afternoon when the helicopters were flying over my house due to their new flight plan. I don't have anything against these people, okay? But I think that you need to correct the problem that we have with the other company before we go issuing anything else. I mean, they're flying less than 500 feet over residential areas. Like I said, I wasn't even coming here today, but when the helicopter flew over my house at 180 feet, come on. I guess that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Ronald Kelly.
Ronald Kelly.
First of all, I'd like to apologize if I sound a little bit angry, but I've a resident on 3rd Street directly in front of all of the helicopter all day, starting around Good Friday until Thanksgiving. I first bought that house in 1981. There was neighborhoods, there was children, there was playgrounds, there was restaurants, there was bars, there was activity all over the place. I don't have anything against these people here personally. But I can tell you one thing, I've watched my neighborhood get destroyed. I've lost my friends, and I still have contact with some of their children. The reason they left is because the constant helicopter, 7 days a week, 9 till dusk, Good Friday till Thanksgiving. You should have a front row. As a matter of fact, you know something also? There has been investors. I can take you there now to the houses they stopped working on in the springtime when first flights happened. You take a walk down my alley. It's a short alley. I will give you a tour. Anybody in this room, I will give you a tour. The tour is only going to go from Pine into Main. One alley. You go 10 streets back. Is everybody proud of Niagara Falls? It's world renowned. I got to get out of here. I send tourists down the street, make a right, go over the bridge. We feel unsafe here. This end of town, you can sit inside this building and hear the helicopter. Been going on for how many years? That's what I thought. This whole town does not need a helicopter because you go to Lewiston, What do? They have quality of life. You have restaurants all over the place. You have bustling neighborhoods all over the place. We have a $1 billion view. People come here to see Niagara Falls. How many million? How many take a helicopter ride? Does that make a big difference? Because I have not found one person who has taken a helicopter ride and purchased any property, maybe the one house just to say they're residential. I'm very sorry I'm acting like this, but I have lived this. I have lived this, watched this. I ask anybody here to come to my neighborhood. I'm retired. I will take the time all day long to please come and see what really happened. I look up, I see everybody new up here, maybe with the exception of one. Everybody knows there's a helicopter issue, including the mayor. I'm going down here, a matter of fact, and this is the hearing for the helicopter. Who gave the keys out to the place already? It's already been worked on. The helicopter's already flying. It looks like they're already training. They're already going over top of my house. I'm just a few houses down from Martin. I've taken pictures. I have video. You guys can't tell me that it's so simple to turn this city around. And we're going to sit here and do the same thing. I don't get it. I really don't. I came up here as a young guy with hope. I was 23 years old. I'm 66 now, and has done nothing but gotten worse. Thank you.
Lisa Dorado.
Hello, thank you for your time this evening. I have been a born and bred resident of Niagara Falls for over 50 years. I am going to actually give you a little bit of, if you think the noise is loud now, it's going to be 2.0 decibels higher with these new helicopters from Hummingbird, just to let you all know that, okay? I just have a few questions that I'm going to run by you. We know that in the city, we've kind of brought in outsiders. We've made mistakes along the way with those outside investors coming into our community. Okay, not feeling too great about this company. I've done a little research, and it's kind of scary. Have you guys vetted them at all, is one of my questions. Have you checked the noise level determination or environmental testing that meets the city requirements for this company? It is very odd that they are already flying and they don't even have your approval yet. That is bizarre to me. Okay, and have you guys checked like the FAA and Canadian authorities to operate over the Niagara Falls, which they've been doing for the last couple days? I don't think so. Also, there's some really interesting things about this company that's out of New Jersey operating under a DBA that I have come to find out, and that everybody should really, really read up on. I actually have some copies. I don't want to take up a lot of your time, so I'm going to give them to the clerk to hand out to all of you. Would you like me to do that now? Okay. I didn't know if you wanted me to do it during the agenda or not. But I'll give you all a copy of all of the questions that I feel that you really, really need to look into. Hold on. Sorry. Because there's some serious history with this company that's not great. Thank you for your time.
Our final speaker for this public hearing is Jennifer Lamoy.
You could have a little decency, administration, mayor, and city administrator, to turn around and face me. You didn't face any of the speakers for the first public hearing. Public hearing number 1, last speaker. Additionally, there should be no time limit for speakers at all whatsoever. This 5 minutes thing is ridiculous. Flight plan of Fly Hummingbird LLC pursuant to Chapter 301.04 of the Codified Ordinances. The resolution is already prepared for constituents to view online. The wording of said resolution documents approval in advance of public hearing even taking place. So this is already approved. Us speaking here is really doing nothing. Really, it's a waste of time. I've noticed this today. I plan to speak at this hearing, the next. for the agenda and for the good of the community. And normally I would take countless hours to prepare along with my son because I homeschool him. And then I said, you know what? I'm just going to wing it today because they don't care. Certain people do. There's a select few. Resolution is by Kenny Tompkins. Beforehand, none of the others, the resolution is by you. So beforehand, before this even occurred, you should have stood up before us with the podium facing the opposite direction, facing the constituents who voted you in. And I'm sorry it's, your last term, so to speak, and sure, many will miss you. You're a good man, but at the same time, you should be required to address the constituents on specifics and details right at the start of the public hearing. It goes for all the councilmen and councilwomen, especially if you're going to put your name to it. Transparency is key for our constituents, and the supporting documentation is right there online as well. Special notices, the flight restrictions in the vicinity of Niagara Falls, New York, and special air traffic rules. So really, no matter what I say, no matter what gets taken into consideration, it's already done. It's already been voted through. The resolution is there. It was already resolved. Read the resolution. For this second hearing, please, and for the agenda items as well as for the good of the community, Mayor Robert Rustino and City Administrator Tony Rustino, face the constituents, please. We voted you in. And if you want another term, turn around.
On proposed name change of Walnut Avenue Extension to Nikola Tesla Lane.
Our only speaker for that public hearing is Jennifer Lamoy.
It's humorous, our fellow constituents. Don't worry, I don't take offense to it. I know you're not laughing at me. You're laughing with me. You're laughing at the clowns. Here's the thing. The council chairman has just asked us if anyone wished to speak at the public hearing relative to calling for a public hearing on proposed name change of Walnut Avenue Extension to, and I might say this incorrectly, so I'm sorry if I do, Nikola Tesla Lane. Is that correct? Nikola Tesla Lane? Okay. So it's Tesla? Tesla. Okay, but they have here Nikola Tesla Lane. So is it going to be called Nikola Tesla Lane, or is it going to be like what they think, Tesla Lane? I don't know. There's no back and forth. You see, that's what's wrong here. Promises were made that are now followed through. You don't have to gavel me. I understand that. I'll speak more at the other two, but again, you cannot face us because what you're doing is wrong. Hiding behind closed doors. Look at this. But guess what? I see this here, right? And what I will be able to do here, I didn't plan this, but just watch this. Look. You can step this close, right?
Ma'am. Ms. Lamoy, it's not. It's not. It's about Nikola Tesla Lane.
Is it about Nikola Tesla Lane, or Tesla Lane? What is it going to be named?
Nikola Tesla Lane.
Okay, but
Renaming a
they
street.
said Tesla Lane,
Please?
right? So are we confused? Is that what it's going to be called? Nikola Tesla Lane. There's no more Walnut Avenue? No, I appreciate it, Diane. I appreciate it. But the thing is like, I didn't know, you see. Somebody could have let us know, right? Because guess what? Isn't the resolution for this from all of yous, correct? It's not just one name on this one, isn't it? It's all of you. So you could have all came up and said, Mrs. Bax, you could have said, I think this is a great idea. And Councilman Colley, you could have said, well, I'm not sure, or what have you. Additionally, et cetera, et cetera. You get what I'm saying? I know you know what I'm saying, and I know you're limited. I understand. I get it. And you know what? I want to just end with this. I thank you for gaveling me because it lets me really realize and understand who we voted in.
That's it.
Public speakers on agenda items?
Public speaker for the agenda item number 1 is Jacob Fleming. I believe it's Jacob. Agenda item number 13. Please speak in the mic so we can hear you. Thank you.
No problem. How's everyone doing this afternoon? has been very informative and very entertaining. I would just like to say that last year, I'm here speaking about the waiving of the bandstand fee. Last year, you guys waived it for us, and I'm hoping to have that happen again. Each year, we're trying to improve on this Juneteenth. You know Ken, Mr. Tompkins, I'm sorry. You know Mr. Tompkins, it was your suggestion to have the flag raised here so it would be recognized as an official holiday, and that was 1 year before it became a national holiday. And since then, I and a few other citizens have decided to make this thing bigger and better every year. So now we're at the point where we're having the concert in the park, we're having the parade, and we're having all of these things. And I say all of that to say that I have established a nonprofit organization which is hosting this. And that nonprofit organization was just established. I haven't received any donations. This is just something that I've been doing basically out of pocket with a few people donating here and there. So I just want to just thank you guys in advance, whatever you decide on the fee. But I just want to just thank you for your time. Thank you.
Gerald Sterling, item number 22.
Do I have to say where I live and all that? Excuse me. Okay, start. The last time I spoke about Nikola Tesla Lane, I thought it was rather strange to call it a lane because it's more like an avenue and it goes about a block and a quarter. But if that's all that we can give Nikola Tesla, then maybe we just got to give him something. But what I really would like to see is something like they have in, things like they have in Europe, because in Europe, I think it would be more proper to give him a square. Now the squares in Europe are very interesting. They're almost like Old Fall Street, but they're wider and they are square. And they have a building that surrounds the square where people can visit restaurants on one side of the building, and they can go to the outside of the square and they can visit the restaurants and the attractions and things like that, such as in Prague, for example. Yeah, well, Prague has a really nice big square, and they have an astro clock, an astrolab clock that chimes on the hour, and the apostles come out and swing around. And, you know, like rather than, well, okay, we're going to give Nikola Tesla a street, you know, and the only justification that I can find is that it leads down to the Shelkoff plant where he was instrumental in bringing electricity to the world. But then, you know, I think that instead of calling Centennial Park, we should call it Tesla Park or something like that. I mean, we really need to give him some recognition for the contribution that he gave to the world. The last time I came here and spoke, I mentioned that he could have sunk Westinghouse. Westinghouse promised him so many dollars per 100,000 horsepower or something like that. And Westinghouse actually had to go to Tesla and say, look, Nikola, I can't afford this. You're going to break my company. Tesla took the contract and ripped it up and said, well, you'll have to give me my patents back. And what did he do? He let his patents expire and he gave his knowledge to the world. In fact, Marconi came. Marconi claimed to have invented the radio. It wasn't Marconi, it was Tesla. Marconi stole Tesla's technology. Tesla called him a jackass, or he said, Marconi is a donkey. So Yes, we do need to give Tesla honor, but we also have to remember Tesla was born a Croatian citizen. He was an ethnic Serb. The Serbs are Pravoslav, right Slavs, the right Slavs. The Croatians are Catholics, and the Bosniaks, or the Muslim people, they're all the same people. They're all the same genetics, from the same gene pool, everything like that, except some are Roman Catholic, some are Orthodox Catholic, and others are Muslim. And the Serbs claim Nikola Tesla as theirs because he was Serb. Now back then, you know, all the Serbs lived in one village. They didn't leave their village, they stayed in their village. All the Croats lived in another village. They stayed in their village. They didn't intermarry, things like that. But when he came here, it was quite different too. My grandfather, I believe my family said they were friends with him or spoke to him or sold him moonshine from time to time, stuff like that, you know. Yeah, that's the history of my family here. So let's give him the short street, but can we also consider building a miniature Centennial Park down here on 3rd Street, or right out here where it really needs to be, because to neglect developing downtown, to neglect developing downtown is to give credence to your opposition. Yeah, who's running for mayor?
Diane Tattersall.
Is this the public hearing's over? I got it,
Sometimes I see why I stopped coming to council meetings. Thank you, council, for hearing me. I'm here to speak on, thank you, dear. I'm here to speak on agenda item number 23 to the fly plan for Hummingbird. Listening to the different things, I'm also having 2 companies operating, a lot of safety concerns, and I think it should be tabled until you get more information and feel comfortable, because I want to feel comfortable. You know, I live real close to where they fly. And since I'm up here, I didn't say anything about item 22, but anything we can do for Mr. Tesla should have been done a long time ago. And, you know, maybe this will lead into something being near the aquarium, where that Walnut Avenue. It took me a while to find out where Walnut Avenue Extension was. Nobody knew, but we should recognize him. But I am concerned, and I really wish you would table this helicopter thing. Thank you.
Martin Marino.
Well, I guess this is kind of redundant that I'm back up here again. You know, Pat Proctor said something that was very interesting. He put the city and tourist before he put safety of the aircraft. To me, safety is number 1. It was kind of funny. I was sitting back there and remembered it, but safety should be number 1 for all. And until you figure out what's going on down there now, I wouldn't be giving out anything. Thanks again.
Lisa Dorado, agenda item number 23.
Once again, now that I have actually passed up those packets to you, the research that I have found out about this company is that they definitely do not have a clean FAA record. Also, there are some questionable people in the company that have had felony charges, drug trafficking charges. All that information is in there for you all. I would ask you to table this and do the vetting of this company before handing anything out. Thank you.
Our final speaker is Jennifer Lamoy.
Remember this, constituents, when you vote. Who looks you in the eye and honestly, listens to you? I can say the majority of the council individuals up there did, but some did not. As you'll recall, there's a pattern here at City Hall with respect to regular meetings. There's never really all that much on agendas for regular meetings, normally, but for some reason there is today. And I know that that is a reason of having that because there's these 2 public hearings as well. The community doesn't have the time, and majority of the residents do not have energy, and most importantly, the ability and access to go online to the city website and view the agenda and supporting documentation. All.
Okay.
I'm speaking for all.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Additionally, more often than not, much of the backup documentation cannot be seen by the public, hence the corruption allegation concerns. So first and foremost, I'd like to address the notations on the second page of the agenda. Now, I had that previously prepared, so it would be then the third, right? The notations. If you would like to speak to the council, please note the following rules. Now, maybe I hadn't actually been to a council meeting in a short time, so I noticed it was pretty clear when you stepped up to sign in. They were right there in view, right? So it stated speakers are addressing the city council as a body. If you would like to address an individual council member or anyone else, please do that separately, not during these meetings. On behalf of our community, and maybe I'm not speaking for everyone, but most importantly myself, I am respectfully requesting that below should be documented also of present city council representatives, as well as, for example, I go in detail here, but what it should be is, if you'd like to speak, and it should be first and foremost the mayor, his contact number, and his email address, and if he does accept text messages, what have you, and as the line goes down. Do you understand what I'm saying? So hopefully there's no confusion with that, because I can tell you from personal experience, when I call the mayor's office in the past, they'll say, mayor's office, and then, hi, it's Jennifer Lemoy. Can I please speak to the mayor? And then, it's Jennifer Lemoy. It's never, can you hold for a moment, or one moment, please. It's an example. You don't have to get the gavel. It is pertinent to this. I'm trying to explain to you that if you're saying to speak to these individuals,
and Ms.
I
Lemoy,
still have some, you're cutting into my
you
time.
can have 30
There's
seconds
not supposed
back.
to be this engagement back and forth. You
Mr.
don't
Murillo,
need to take me
could
down.
you pause it for a second?
Please.
Ms. Lemoy.
Oh, you turned the microphone off?
No, I asked you to pause your time, actually. So excuse me.
Thank you.
Excuse me. So as you just read, you're addressing the council body as a whole, not the mayor.
No, I didn't.
What you
Where
just
was I
did.
addressing the mayor?
And what you're
How
talking.
did I address him?
but
By
what you're-
saying that his name
and
should be
Ms.
first.
Lemoy, excuse me.
No.
Miss Lemoy. Miss Lemoy.
Come to the meetings,
You're
right?
You're speaking about the agenda. Keep it to
Right.
that.
The agenda item should, if you're saying that, like I'm saying, if I was, heck, I ran for city council, and what did they do? He made certain that my name is not going to be on the ballot.
Miss Lemoy, this is your last
just
warning.
that time.
Miss
You don't have to
Lemoy,
step to-
this is
don't
your
step to
last
this,
warning.
please.
This is your last warning.
Oh, I
otherwise
need
you
a
have to sit
warning
down.
now, right?
This is your last
Okay.
warning.
No.
This is your last warning.
Okay. Do you not understand what this administration has done to our community?
Miss Lemoy.
Okay, let me continue, but wait a second, let me find my spot, okay? Don't cut in yet. Wait, you just gotta cut, I asked you to
Miss Lemoy.
find my spot.
You have 30 seconds. Go ahead.
No, just take it back to the 2 minutes and 45 seconds so I can find my spot, please.
Miss Lemoy.
Jennifer, please!
Okay, Jennifer. I was trying to show you the respect,
Please.
obviously.
Yeah, please show me some respect, because
Right.
you can understand.
Yes.
Please, Mr. Pfeiffer.
Okay.
Step aside. You never asked me for a comment, now do you? Personally, I would like to recommend that future meeting agendas include a moment of silence for community members, constituents who have passed away during the time frame between meetings. Excuse me. Because this subject matter is not presently on the agenda. I will just state here respectfully and sincerely, you could just do it something like this, right? In loving memory of those members of our community and or their relatives and or friends who have unfortunately most recently perished. I am respectfully requesting such. Now I do have a little more time, so let me see, because you kind of cut into my stuff. Oh, I did want to point out here, and maybe many may agree and not, I'm not rambling on here. I want you to see that, with the agenda items, when it's the controller's report should be presented to constituents. The podium should be turned the opposite way and presented to us. I was secretary to priests for 6 years, confidential secretary at St. Joe's, which is now Holy Family, and every year the priest would present the budget. I'd work on it with him, and we'd prepare. So he would prepare, right? We had $500,000 in the bank when he retired, but you know what I'm saying? He was transparent to the parishioners. So I'm asking for transparency for the constituents. This is what I'm also pointing out, because it was on one of the other agendas, is that you might find humor to this, but it isn't funny, is that I personally believe that a line item, that it's marriage performance, it should be renamed, as said statement doesn't clearly reflect what the figure stands for. Do you understand what I'm saying, that line item, marriage performance? For example, the city clerk report reflects that marriage performance is $600. Make that make sense to me. Do you get what I'm saying? Is that making sense? Marriage performance is $600. How does that make sense? Okay. Marriage performance. That's the money that was taken in for the marriages performed, $600. Make that make sense. Be transparent, be accountable. Oh, did you give me that additional 45 seconds? Oh, good. Okay, well, let me then continue then, since you did, because I didn't actually see. Additionally, I've stated this previously too, and I'll tell you, I know what I'm doing when I'm speaking up here. I don't find humor in this, so I'm not trying to entertain anyone. When there's items for council action from the mayor should present them to the constituents. How many items are here? These are already approved. We have no say in any of this stuff. What if I didn't want Mark Cerrone to get that letter of award for D'Amelio whatever park splash pad? Do you get what I'm saying? I should have had a say in that. Okay, thank you so much.
Council, a couple things. First, item number 24 on the agenda with regard to cannabis legislation. I'm going to be pulling that from the agenda this evening based upon our administration sent some representatives to a meeting in Erie County with the Office of Management. I received some information back from them. There's just a couple of language items that I want to improve in the zoning piece. And then we'll have it prepared for your assessment at the next meeting. Also, yesterday we were able to complete our application for the energy efficiency conservation block grant. So we are now in the queue. We have, I believe, until January 31st of next year to complete some further paperwork in consideration of the funds that have already been appropriated for the city. Other than that, those are the only two items I have to update on.
All right, so what I have tonight for you is an update on our 2022 general fund results. I know in the past meetings I was able to provide updates on some of the smaller funds, but we finally were able to finish the general fund. And actually starting next week, our annual audit is being performed. So I'll go to this slide here. You'll see on the right, the figures provided tonight are unaudited and subject to change. But this slide here, and I apologize, this is likely small to read if you're in the back, but I wanted to fit it all on one slide. This is our 2022 revenue line items and the various descriptions that we have and I have the different columns here. 2022, our budget amount. The middle is the actual figures, and on the right-hand side is our 2021 actual results. You know, you can see line by line how we did compared to budget and how we did compared to 2021. The most significant increase compared to budget is that non-tax items line item, almost $5 million over budget. That is the, I was going to get to it. That is the county sales tax, the hotel restaurant sales tax. Those revenue line items were in there. And I know throughout the year, last year, I was providing you updates on those figures, and this was the end result. So all in all, the total, when you do not consider the transfers in near the bottom there, the transfers in are revenue lines from other funds. We brought in a little less than $88 million when you compare it to $84 million from a budget perspective. And then when you include the transfers in, which is the revenue that we collect from our parking operations and through our casino transfer, amongst other smaller transfers, we brought in $101.3 million, and we had a budget figure of $96.2 million. And in 2021, we had $97.3 million of total revenue. So all in all, a significant increase in our revenues. You know, a lot of positive results in the detail of these line items, but you know, don't want to get too much in the detail here. The next slide is our expenses, and similar. We have the 2022 budget, our 2022 actual results, and our 2021 actual. And I have it broken down between our total payroll costs and then other expenses when you look at capital outlays, our operating expenses, and our employee benefits. And you can see the overall budget when it comes to those line items was around $88.2 million, and we came in under budget there. And you can see compared to 2021, but the main thing is coming under budget in 2022. So when you include the transfers in there, you know, we're again in total almost $96.4 million in the budget, and we came in slightly under that this year. So from an overall perspective, our revenues came in over budget, our expenses came in under budget, which is essentially what you want to do every year. And the next slide is when you compare, you know, obviously 2020 was the COVID year, and our loss there of $4.4 million. But the last 2 years, you can see how we have not only made back the losses from 2020, but have made more than what we lost in that year. A little more than $5 million of net income for 2022, and that's coming off of a year that we made $3.6 million. So this is going to significantly help our fund balance. It'll help you know, the way that rating agencies look at us. It'll help the way that potentially the state looks at us. So hopefully we continue this trend of exceeding revenue projections and coming in under a budget from an expense perspective. That's all I have.
They're considerably off. What happened that we didn't get?
I would have to look to see the specific detail. I can chance it for that one.
It just seems like, you know, there are a couple compared to what the numbers are, like you know, a half of one and a third of the other.
That may be one-time revenue that we received in 21, but I can get back to that.
Appreciate it.
Dan, just a quick question. For the 2022 actual, obviously the asterisk, so these are unaudited. When they're audited, do they fluctuate that much? Does it vary?
We haven't really had any significance over the last 2 years, but you know, the audited ones do get presented to you.
Okay.
At the end of June, we'll have the auditors here.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Anyone got got anything for community happenings?
Got parade coming up.
I go up and give the plug for the parade.
May 27th, 10 o'clock, running down Robin Drive from Linwood Avenue to the Veterans Monument. Followed by a very nice ceremony at the Veterans Monument. We'd love to see you all there and participate. Any groups or organizations, reach out to me. We'd love to have you be part of the parade.
I do have another announcement. We received an email, Right Nutrition Program, referring to good nutrition, good for your body, good for you, and translates to good for your soul, good for your spirit. They're offering a free nutrition literacy program here in Niagara Falls on Thursday, May 25th, from 12 noon to 3 p.m. and free lunch and dinner during the workshop as well. There's more information if you need it. So, nutrition workshop.
Tracy, anything?
No.
Okay. Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Chairman, before we do the review of the agenda items, a couple housekeeping items. Number one is, as the mayor had mentioned, number 24 currently on the agenda related to the the current number 24 relative to the amendment of the city's zoning ordinance regarding the cannabis item is been pulled. And there is a walk-on item sponsored by the council members regarding relative to expressing support for the submittal of the application for the Each Energy Efficiency and Conservation Block Grant Program prior to the April 28th, 2023 deadline. There's a proposal to add that to the agenda. So if there's a motion. Okay.
I second.
Okay.
To add to the agenda, who said moved it? Anybody said moved it? Okay, thank you. Councilmember Bax?
Yes.
Councilmember Cawley?
Yes.
Councilmember Miles?
Yes.
Councilmember Tompkins?
Yes.
Council Chairman Zajac?
Yes.
This item has been approved.
And the item will be added as the new number 24 on the agenda.
Review the agenda items?
Agenda item from the city clerk's office, agenda item number 1, received and filed. That's the March report 2023. Agenda item number 2, city clerk's report for the month of March 2023, received and filed. Agenda item number 3.
Yes, just in regards to some of the comments made, even though the language may be there, none of these items are guaranteed to pass, to be tabled. No, they're all up for discussion, they're all up for debate amongst the council, so at any moment, any of these items can be tabled, voted down, or voted up, so nothing is guaranteed, nothing. And in regards to this, so it's the for me in terms of the information, and I've been trying to find it, haven't seen it for the $38,400. I care about every dollar that I vote on, every penny, where it's going, who's it going to, and fiscal responsibility, fiscal accountability. And I, as I go through and vote later today, just want to keep that in mind that I did not receive and have asked for and have not received the totals for this $38,400. I'm done with that item.
Item number 4.
Yes, so this is for the pool. Will that pool be ready this year? Like, is there a specific date or a time frame for it to be ready for activity? I don't, whoever can answer it.
It is anticipated that the pool will be ready. The question then becomes lifeguards.
And in regards to this item as well, I also had a question. If we, we had underruns and we had certain things come up that allowed us to not be able to change, but if anyone just take a second and think, I mean, I always had the question, did we over budget a minimum of $95,000 that this change doesn't affect it? And if we did, is there a way that we can get better at doing that? So it's just a matter of how much money we're allocating for things, and can we get better, and can we account for that 90,000 in the beginning, as opposed to having these extra costs come out and it's still not having anything to affect it? Because the 95,000 change in your pocket, and you know that means you must got the money to do that. So I just caution and just want to bring to attention getting better at, and then asking everyone to get better, for the city to get better, for us to get better at allocating and throwing money around at projects. Continue.
I just have one quick thing to say too about the pools. So I know it's important to the residents. I remember from last year and the year before to get these pools open, and the overall investment's been just about, including number 5, about $2 million, maybe a little more, to get these pools open. So as somebody had mentioned, lifeguards are really important. So we'd hate to see these pools sitting with water in them and not open during the hours of operation that we have for the summer. So if anybody knows anybody looking for a summer gig, please send them to the city website so we can get these open for everybody. It's a pretty big investment that we'd like to see.
Yeah, I
we'd like
agree,
to see it move
absolutely.
forward.
Definitely lifeguards are needed, work for the city, serve the city as we serve here on the city council, serve the city as a lifeguard. Please appreciate it.
There's no age limit. Someone asked.
There we go.
All right, agenda item number 5.
Yes, that's for the work that's gonna be done. For that's $750,000 nearly, right? Just wondering, what type of work will be performed? Because for that type of money, I think we should have something to show for. We should know, and it's not just a company receiving the bid and we don't know what's taking place. You know what I mean? Some more detail when it comes down to that.
Let me just say that part of that's going to be removal of the current old style piece that's there, but then there'll also be the installation of a splash pad similar to the one that you see at Hyde Park. The only difference will be size in terms of the land area they have. So it'll be the infrastructure, a pad, and the nature of what you're familiar with at Hyde Park, and that will be the new splash pad at D'Amelio Park.
Well, along those same lines, I personally would love to see paperwork on that in terms of a costing, or in terms of a detailed outline scenario of what work is going to be done for what, whether that's going to be all the $750,000 or half, or will it, what work is that done? I would love to see that.
Agenda item number 6. Agenda item number 7. Agenda
item number 7. This gives me the opportunity to talk about, another one is I'm glad we're doing this. And is my understanding that this money that we're collecting is going to go on to the taxes, and then after a certain amount of time, the city can foreclose on that on unpaid bills. And I love to see that and want to see more enforcement. And this gives you time to, we as a city, can we increase on crime? And I don't mean just robberies and murders and anything like that, not that we have that. We definitely want to help out our police force. We definitely want to help out the great people that are standing here, help them solve crimes, but also more enforcement, more work from our code enforcement, more work from our inspections. I took a drive around the city with the gentleman, and I see buildings out here that are being built with no permits on them. Or what about our STRs? Those should be cleaned up. There's a lot of violations with them. You just can't have the wild, wild west. So I just believe that I definitely want to see more of this stuff, more items like this, where we're coming and we're clamping down to clean up our city of crime and enforce our inspection, enforce permits, to collect more of this type of information. So, and I was going to speak on this with the marijuana as well, since that's being taken off, but this buzz feeds into that, just to get my piece on that, because I am against that wholeheartedly, and I may be a square, but I don't run in circles. So I'm just not against the marijuana, Bill, because another reason is we're going to have enforcement on that, business hours. If somebody's operating outside of business hours, who's going to be there to shut them down and make that happen? Because we know when businesses are open outside their business hours, that's just increased crime. That increased the opportunity of somebody doing something they got no business doing. So I want to see more of that stuff from us as a city to clamp down on some of the inspections and some of the code enforcement violations and some of the permits that our people are building without permits, and enforcing some of this quality of life agenda that we can increase in this city. Thank you.
Agenda item number 8. Agenda item number 9.
I just want to say absolutely. I want to say absolutely. I think this is what we're supposed to be using CDBG funds for. So for, like, when we're using it for our, the non-for-profit organizations that servicing our community, for the demolition, for, the street paving and all of the good stuff that it's meant to be used for, I say absolutely. So I'm definitely in support of this as well.
Agenda item number 10. Agenda item number 11. Agenda item number 12.
Numbers 11 and 12 are involved with the Niagara Gospel Mission, and another one of my key points is transparency. And if you think about it, Niagara Gospel Mission, they applied for this money, from my understanding, about 6 to 8 to 10 months ago, somewhere in that time frame. They applied for it. Somebody said, yes, you can get it. But then fast forward to today, we have this on our docket that they can't get the money because they didn't abide by the faith-based activities restrictions of the grant. I looked up those faith-based activities restrictions of the grant, and part of that is they can't preach. Part of their name is Niagara Gospel Mission. The word is to preach the gospel. So my thing is that I'm still digging on this, and I'm still working, just trying to figure out, were they targeted, or what was there something that happened at a federal level? Because federal money is state money, it's all taxpayer money, and like I said, I care about your dollars. And the Niagara Gospel Mission, no real changes happen without the gospel being preached to somebody. The word has to be given. So if they can't preach the gospel, they're just a Niagara Mission. So what I'm just trying to get out there is, I would love to get, I'm already still investigating what happened with this, what's that time frame, and were they, I won't say targeted, but can we still get them the money, even though I know it's a long shot, but at least give some accountability just to bring awareness to the issue that Niagara Gospel Mission couldn't get this money because they couldn't preach the gospel. Thank you.
Agenda item number 13. Agenda item number 14. Agenda item number 15. Agenda item number 16. Agenda item number 17. Agenda item number 18.
Just so anybody don't get it confused, that D Miles is not Dante Miles. So right, because I got a call before about that. But I know the gentleman. And he's a young man that operates a very successful blacktop business. He's a young African American in the city of Niagara Falls who's looking to expand. And for me, I'm like, that's something that my son and other people that look like myself could be excited about, you know what I mean? It's like, so, because a lot of times, we don't get a lot of those type of opportunities, and to see him in this realm and see him growing the way he's been growing, I'm very proud of him. I'm definitely supporting this as well.
Agenda item number 19. Agenda item number 20.
Oh, I'm sorry. Because I know someone had called and asked me about it. I'm gonna go back to 18. That was my little spiel right there. And also, I found out that the value that he's paying for it, he literally went straight to the county, got the exact assessed value. He said that I don't want to take anything I'm not trying to get anything for free. So the amount that you see on here is exactly how much this property that he's buying is worth. So he's not saying, oh, I want it for $500. He's paying exactly how much it's worth. So that was just something I wanted to add to it.
Agenda item number 21.
20.
Yeah, 20.
Agenda item number 20.
I just want to say, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Tony over there, this is really good. That property has actually cost us money in my time on the county. That was a property that was full of contamination that we had to spend a lot of money to clean up. To see it go away from where it is, to be able to sell it, kind of recoup some of the money that we paid, it's a very good thing, because I don't think anybody even knew where or what this property was. So it's good that you're able to get this back out onto the market, and instead of costing us money, we're now going to be able to bring in a nice tax base out of it.
And I just want to say too, it's thank you for sharing the agreement, because it's nice to see that if they don't fulfill on their obligation and promise, we have a course of action to take this back. So I do appreciate that.
Is it brownfield? Is it?
So the city was doing illegal dumping there ourselves.
Oh.
We were dumping street sweeper stuff, which is contaminated dirt. It was big. I'll tell you afterwards.
Yeah, so we were ridiculous.
We had to pay for a pretty good
It
cleanup.
was more in the nature of debris than it was in chemical or other kinds of waste. It was just debris.
Street sweeper waste.
Yeah.
There's oils in it.
Right.
Yep.
So question, being that it's not brownfield, is there, because I mean, that's a nice handful of acreage, will there be opportunities for others to possibly purchase?
Yeah, the idea behind it is to take that entire area and turn it into, I would like to propose an industrial park there. So, I mean, this is the first person in, first business in, and so we're just hoping that as we start to create this development, other entities looking for shovel-ready space. That was a space that, quite frankly, once Grand Island had turned its back on Amazon, we had immediately gotten into discussion with them to try and get that acreage over for them. It didn't work out as a result of just how much acreage we had as opposed to what they needed. But the plan has been, since I arrived here, to move 5,000 Porter Road into an industrial park. So we could take it and make it taxable and also bring jobs. This particular developer business is a light manufacturing, which is going to bring jobs.
Agenda item number 21. Agenda item number 22.
Just on this one, I also would like to know what else is in store. Haven't seen this agenda item.
As I go back to the last hearing we had, I recall I was against this, or at least putting this off as well, and will agree with some of the comments that's made. Would love to see more. I mean, definitely Tesla was a great inventor, as we all know. Don't need to say anything that we don't know already, but we'd love to see more done. Don't know what else is in store.
And that's something that can basically be, brought forward.
Yeah.
Agenda item number 23.
Yeah, in regards to this one, again, I have no malice toward none. Nothing against, no personal ill will towards not just Fly Hummingbird or Rainbow Air or any person in general. But with some of the comments that are made, and I have, I mean, a stack of stuff just going back. And I went through each piece of paper. If anyone goes through it, thank you, Mr. K. I appreciate you. I appreciate what you've done and showed me this. And I've gone through these papers. And if anyone wants to go through each one, this is 30, 40 years of what's been going on with the helicopter. So I'm going to call on the council members for this one to at best table it, or if not, vote no, because I think quality of life to me, I love businesses and I'll always be business friendly. But to me, quality of life supersedes getting a few dollars from a helicopter company, from any company. No offense to them. I love you guys. I know what you're doing, but I just think quality of life matters to me. So if anybody want to review, we can definitely sit down and go over that. Thank you.
I actually, as well, one thing about what I heard at the podium is that you should trust. Here's how I operate. I believe that trust is earned and not given. So our job up here is to make sure that whatever decision that we make has our constituents, the city as a whole, best interest at heart. So for me, I'm going to concur and say that yes, we should table this definitely at best, because of the simple fact is that we need to get all of the information. We don't have a whole lot of time to comb through things and vet through things because we just got it at the end of last week. And as you see, we have 20 some odd agenda items. So for me, I want to make sure that who's ever doing business in the city of Niagara Falls, and especially when I don't know you personally, nothing against you, but I don't know you. So for me, I want to make sure that we're making the best conscious decision as a body, as per who we're going to do business with, because I don't want to have to come back and say, oh man, I'm sorry, Niagara Falls, we didn't mean to do this. You know what I mean? So let's just make sure that. And so I agree. Long story less long.
The sad part of this is that the other company that's not on the agenda is going to be flying, and we are now going to be getting more complaints because they are going to be flying over LaSalle to get to their flight pattern to fly down the same pattern we already have. So nothing here is, we're actually going to get more complaints regardless what happens with Hummingbird because of this Rainbow is going to be flying over LaSalle. Our question will be is, with Hummingbird coming in, will there be, you won't get twice as many flights because only X amount of people are going to ride a helicopter, but we definitely will be increasing because both companies will be running. You'll probably get more visitors flying the helicopter. So we have to kind of look at that. But just know, as my fellow council members, that we're still going to get complaints because Rainbow has the right to fly. They are now going to fly over LaSalle, and then they are going to be flying over the same pattern they always had. So the complaints we've always gotten are not going away. Sure. We can't stop it because they have the authorization to fly. So these complaints, we may be able to slow it down a little bit if Hummingbird for some reason doesn't get approved, but nothing's changed. We're still going to have flights. Our issue is going to be we're going to get more flights, and that's not our control. That is the FAA that approves the flight pattern. We don't have any control over, like the one gentleman from the air traffic controller that was here, we have no control of what they do up there. That's not our space. We have, our authority is do we let them operate in the city of Niagara Falls.
And I would love to have Rainbow Air not operate as well.
But we don't have that choice.
I know we don't.
Yeah, so then, like I said, get ready for more calls because I've already heard them that LaSalle is starting to have issues. So just be ready.
No, I've already seen. I got video. I've got audio. I've experienced it myself over the weekend flying above. So that's why the quality of life me matters. And if there's a way to stop any of these, all of them, any helicopter, I believe quality of life reigns supreme over a couple bucks.
And just remember also that some of the helicopters that we see in DeVoe are Canadian.
Sure.
We have zero to say about that.
Sure.
Agenda item number 24.
So this is the old 24. I spoke about the marijuana. It said my piece on that. It is what it is. But if we're going to do it and move forward with it at some point down the line, we should definitely be tightened up on permits and tighten up on business hours. We should tighten up on our enforcement and violations of any of our ordinances, resolutions, laws. We should tighten it up. But on the new 24, the energy grant, that's just money on the table for us. I think it's excellent, and we can go with that.
Oh yeah, that's what I want to add myself to that. And that's free money. The left, 24. Yeah.
The energy guy.
It's free money. So why not?
And thank you for getting the application in.
Thank you,
So
Van
we do
Schreek. Thank you.
appreciate that.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, call for vote.
Agenda item number 1, city clerk's claims for the month of March 2023 received and filed. Agenda item number 2, city clerk's report for the month of March 2023 received and filed.
Stop with your people. You don't shit. Every day. You destroy everything.
Agenda item number 3, approval of the contract with D.P. Brown and Associates for the City Hall steam trap replacement project, change order number 1.
Move it. Call the roll.
Councilmember Bax.
Yes.
Councilmember Cawley.
I'm voting no for the specific reason. I would love to see a breakdown. No.
Councilmember,
Ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Councilmember Miles.
Yes.
Councilmember Tompkins.
Yes.
Council Chairman Zajac.
Yes.
This item has been approved. Agenda item number 4, approval of the contract to Patterson Stevens Incorporated for Hyde Park Pool resurfacing, change order number 1.
Move it.
Call the roll.
Councilmember Bax?
Yes.
Councilmember Cawley?
Yes.
Councilmember Miles?
Yes.
Councilmember Tompkins?
Yes.
Council Chairman Zajac?
Yes.
This item has been approved. Agenda item number 5, approval of the letter of award for D'Amelio Park splash pad to Mark Cerrone.
Move it.
Call the roll.
Councilmember Bax?
Yes.
Councilmember Cawley?
Same reason as the last time, no.
Councilmember Miles?
Yes.
Councilmember Tompkins?
Yes.
Council Chairman Zajac?
Yes.
This item has been approved. Agenda item number 6, approval of the contract to Stantec Consulting Group for the John Daly Boulevard Extension Project, change order number 4.
Move it.
Call the roll.
Councilmember Bax?
Yes.
Councilmember Cawley?
Yes.
Councilmember Miles?
Yes.
Councilmember Tompkins?
Yes.
Council Chairman Zajac?
Yes.
This item has been approved. Agenda item number 7, approval of expenses incurred in repair, demolition, or board of structures within the city from April 1st, 2022 to March 31st, 2023 for the Department of Code Enforcement.
Move it.
Call the roll.
Councilmember Bax?
Yes.
Councilmember Cawley?
Yes.
Councilmember Miles?
Yes.
Councilmember Tompkins?
Yes.
Council Chairman Zajac?
Yes.
This item has been approved. Agenda item number 8, approval of the contract to Skylighters Fireworks of New York for Independence Day fireworks display.
Move it.
Call the roll.
Councilmember Bax?
Yes.
Councilmember Cawley?
Yes.
Councilmember Miles?
Yes.
Councilmember Tompkins?
Yes.
Council Chairman Zajac?
Yes.
This item has been approved. Agenda item number 9, approval of Niagara Area Habitat for Humanity Incorporated Grant Agreement Amendment.
Move it.
Call the roll.
Councilmember Bax?
Yes.
Councilmember Cawley?
Yes.
Councilmember Miles?
Yes.
Councilmember Tompkins?
Yes.
Council Chairman Zajac?
Yes.
This item has been approved. Agenda item number 10, approval of Zenobia Recovery Systems Incorporated Grant Agreement Amendment.
Move it.
Call the roll.
Councilmember Bax?
Yes.
Councilmember Cawley?
Yes.
Councilmember Miles?
Yes.
Councilmember Tompkins?
Yes.
Council Chairman Zajac?
Yes.
This item has been approved. Agenda item number 11, approval of reprogramming 2022 CDBG funds, Niagara Gospel Mission,
Move it.
right to Niagara Falls Memorial Medical Center. You said move it.
Call the roll.
Councilmember Bax?
Yes.
Councilmember Cawley?
We have to use it or lose it? Yes.
Councilmember Miles?
Yes.
Councilmember Tompkins?
Yes.
Council Chairman Zajac?
Yes.
This item has been approved. Agenda item number 12, approval of reprogramming 2022 ESG funds, Niagara Gospel Mission to YWCA.
Move it.
Call the roll.
Councilmember Bax?
Yes.
Councilmember Cawley?
Good job to Niagara Gospel Mission for holding on to your principles. And I apologize, but yes.
Councilmember Miles?
Yes.
Councilmember Tompkins?
I do feel bad for Niagara Gospel to lose both of these fundings, but Carolyn House and Shokoff are very important in our city. I vote yes.
Council Chairman Zajac?
Yes.
This item has been approved. Agenda item number 13, approval of waiver of bandstand fee Juneteenth celebration at Legends Park.
Move it.
Call the roll.
Councilmember Bax?
Yes.
Councilmember Cawley?
Yes.
Councilmember Miles?
For an event that has took a long time to make it here, I'm glad that we're able to support it in any kind of way that we can, so yes.
Councilmember Tompkins?
Well, being that Jacob Fleming promised me Stevie Wonder, I vote yes.
Council Chairman Zajac?
Yes.
This item has been approved. Agenda item number 14, approval of waiver of bandstand fee, Harry S. Jordan Gardens reunion.
Move it.
Call the roll.
Councilmember Bax?
Yes.
Councilmember Cawley?
Technology needed? Yes.
Councilmember Miles?
And that's my neck of the woods where I grew up at, so yes.
Okay. Councilmember Tompkins?
Yes.
Council Chairman Zajac?
Yes.
This item has been approved. Agenda item number 15, approval of purchase of communication equipment and services, NFPD.
Move it.
Call the roll.
Councilmember Bax?
Yes.
Councilmember Cawley?
Yes.
Councilmember Miles?
Yes.
Councilmember Tompkins?
Yes.
Council Chairman Zajac?
Yes.
This item has been approved. Item number 16, approval of amendment to the contract with Joy Kubler Landscape Architect PC Consulting Service LaSalle Business District Streetscape Project.
Move it.
Call the roll.
Councilmember Bax?
Yes.
Councilmember Carley.
Yes.
Councilmember Miles.
Yes.
Councilmember Tompkins.
Yes.
Council Chairman Zajac.
Yes.
This item has been approved. Agenda item number 17, approval of consultant selection, LaSalle Associates, DRI Bridge District Small Project Grant Fund, and DeCamillo Bakery Grant.
Move it.
Call the roll.
Councilmember Bax.
Yes.
Councilmember Carley.
There's a lot, for anyone who's curious about the DRI, because I definitely was, there's a lot of information, there is information regarding the Downtown Revitalization Initiative Bridge District. A lot of paperwork we do have paperwork on the city website. You're able to find it there. I just got a couple of pieces here, and it sounds to be a promising project. It sounds like it's going to be, it's well documented, it's well laid out, exactly what you would expect from this type of project, so I'm a yes.
Thank you. Councilmember Miles.
Yes.
Councilmember Tompkins.
Yes.
Council Chairman Zajac.
Yes.
This item has been approved. Agenda item number 18, approval of sale of city-owned real property to D. Miles General Construction Incorporated.
Move it.
Call the roll.
Councilmember Bax.
Yes.
Councilmember Carley.
Yes.
Councilmember Miles.
Yes.
Councilmember Tompkins.
Yes.
Council Chairman Zajac.
Yes.
This item has been approved. Agenda item number 19, approval of sale of abandoned city right-of-way Highland Solar LLC.
Move it.
Call the roll.
Councilmember Bax.
Yes.
Councilmember Carley.
We had E2I come and present. Highland Solar is an owner of E2I. That's why I had a question of who is Highland Solar when we had E2I come and present, and that's the relationship between those two, just for some transparency. Yes. Yes.
Councilmember Miles.
Yes.
Councilmember Tompkins.
It's good to see property that wasn't on the tax rolls now become on the tax roll. I vote yes.
Council Chairman Zajac.
Yes.
This item has been approved. Agenda item number 20, approval of purchase, sale, and development agreement, 5,000 Porter Road property, VPS Property Ventures LLC.
Move it.
Call the roll.
Councilmember Bax.
Yes.
Councilmember Carley.
Yes.
Councilmember
I
Miles.
definitely want to make sure that we do find ourselves building more as well, so I can appreciate a plan. So yes.
Councilmember Tompkins.
Yes.
Council Chairman Zajac.
Yes.
This item has been approved. Agenda item number 21, approval of modification installation of traffic signage southwest corner of Spring Street.
Move it.
Call the roll.
Councilmember Bax.
Yes.
Councilmember Carley.
Hopefully this reduces the issues that was going on there. Yes.
Councilmember Miles.
Yes.
Councilmember Tompkins.
Yes.
Council Chairman Zajac.
Yes.
This item has been approved. Agenda item number 22, relative to intent to change the name of Walnut Avenue Extension to Nikola Tesla Lane.
Move it.
Call the roll.
Councilmember Bax.
Yes.
Councilmember Carley.
Something about the timing of this, as I think about this, doesn't sit with me well in some of the comments there. I vote no.
Councilmember Miles.
So, kind of like to the contrary, if we can make sure that we prepare something that's actually going to give the man something that's, worthy of the contributions that he have, created, that's something that we need to put in our wheelhouse for a very near future. You know what I mean? So I'm going to vote yes because it's a start.
Councilmember Tompkins.
If this will keep Mr. Levick from calling us 10 times a week, I vote yes.
Council Chairman Zajac.
Yes.
This item has been approved. Agenda item number 23, relative to approval of flight plan of Fly Hummingbird LLC pursuant to Chapter 301.04 of the codified ordinances.
Move the table.
Second.
Councilmember Bax.
Yes, in light of the information and some of the things we've heard today, I think we need some more time. Yes.
Councilmember Carley.
Yes.
Councilmember Miles.
Yes.
Councilmember Tompkins.
Yes.
Council Chairman Zajac.
Yes.
This item has been approved. This item has been tabled. The new item number 24 is relative to expressing support for the submittal of application for each energy efficiency and conservative block grant program prior to April 28, 2023 deadline.
Move it.
Call the roll.
Councilmember Bax.
Yes.
Councilmember Carley.
Free money on the table, thanks to the administration. Thank you. Yes.
Councilmember Miles.
Free money, yes.
Councilmember Tompkins.
Yeah, definitely, yes.
Council Chairman Zajac,
Thank you, County Administration, for putting that in. Yes.
this item has been approved.
Speaker's good again. Yep.
We're starting the good of the community portion of the meeting, and the first speaker is Ricky Frank.
My name is Ricky Frank. I reside over at 800 Niagara Avenue. I'd like to just go ahead and talk about some of the things that are going on here in the city. Now, I go ahead and I'll try to listen to the different news items from Niagara Express, breaking news. I listen to what you guys have to say. I listen to the mayor's weekly thing on the internet. And I was kind of surprised at what he had said, you know. I mean, this thing with the NFR and this event center, I look at it this way. This is my opinion. Why would we want to go ahead and put a park over there? When you go from the water intakes to Rainbow Boulevard, driving that way, and you get off of there, and you're going to put a park there where you got all you do is smell waste. It smells like a baby's diaper, you know? And we're going to go ahead and put a park there? Wow, that really makes sense. You know, it's going to cost $150 million is what they said. It's going to go ahead and it's going to come down on the taxpayers for 20 years. Where does that make sense? When we have the property, the city has the property at 3rd Niagara, why not do it there? The parking's there, the businesses are there, the people come out of the event center, the businesses are going to thrive, everybody gets a piece of the pie. We go ahead now, I was listening to, because he also went ahead and he was getting on NFR about, them not keeping up with their properties. Well, the properties here in Niagara Falls aren't being kept up with, okay? And we've been going ahead and dealing with this for years. Now, the thing is, because I heard him go ahead and say on his face page there, whatever, that he was talking about the people that still reside over on Milstein's properties, or NFR. And yet, I'll bet there's not a person here that lives in one of them houses here to complain that about the property. They're fine with it. People here are complaining, and how many of these houses do we see knocked down? And they're just places to go ahead for drug action and everything else. We've found dead bodies in these places over the years. You know, this is terrible. I mean, you know, and the money, you know, the grant money, we're going ahead and thinking about going ahead and building an event center when, I mean, you know, this is for, now not only do we have a drug problem in the city, now we go ahead and we got Seneca's going ahead and open up the cannabis thing, which I don't have a problem. You want to smoke, you smoke. I don't give a damn. Okay, that's your business. But the thing is, man, you go ahead and drive down any one of these streets. Now, you may have had a drink, you may have smoked a joint, maybe you hadn't smoked anything at all. Yet you might get pulled over because you're dodging potholes. Okay? You know, let's go ahead and stick to the things of the city and do stuff for the residents and quit worrying about all these hot damn businesses. You know? I mean, go ahead. I'd like to go ahead and half the people, I bet you could take that amenda sheet and half the people even sitting here right now don't even know what any of that stuff means, because the people in Niagara Falls have no clue of what's going on. I mean, you know, the social media, it's not getting out there. These people, they're so disgusted with this city, they don't show up no more. You know, so, I mean, the youth, we got to go ahead and start doing something for the youth, or nothing is going to get better. We need jobs. Look, I lived here from when we lived in Sunny Acres, and then we were like the Jeffersons. We moved on up. And we got to buy a house from living from a mobile home. Then we moved over into the Love Canal. So then we get our ass kicked out of there. And then I end up over on 6th Street. And now I moved from there because somebody shot a bullet hole because of me parking on off-street parking. And there's people always shooting off fireworks over there, and the police have never done anything about it. And so you don't know whether there's bullets going off or if it's fireworks, and we're worried about helicopters making noise. I mean, come on. What the hell? I've said enough. God bless you.
Gerald Sterling. Gerald Sterling. Oh, sorry.
Before she leaves, she's on her way out the door right now. I definitely like to thank Mother Douglas. She's a local pastor here. Show up and, just at least get an understanding of what's going on in city council. It means the world to me, so I just had to put that out there before she left.
Good evening, Gerald Schutling. I am here to speak for like-minded Democrats. It's not easy. Again, we object to Democratic Party leadership endorsement of Robert Restaino for mayor. We feel our moral standards suffer or have suffered irreparable damage for the heinous immoral action Restaino carried out against 46 innocent persons, jailing them because of his mental instability. You be quiet, it's my turn to talk. This isn't good for the public, right?
Excuse me, Mr. Skurlin.
What?
It is, but you're supposed to use the decorum meant for this body and not to attack an individual. And you
I'm
just
sorry,
attacked the
but you
mayor.
better start listening to the Congress and see how they speak. This is not a personal attack.
That was.
This is a personal opinion.
Okay.
Now, you're stealing my time to talk, and you're interrupting my time to talk, and I
Please
consider
stay
that
on
a
point.
constitutional
Go ahead.
violation.
Go ahead.
Of my rights.
Go ahead.
Would you please be quiet?
Go ahead.
Start the time again.
Go ahead. We'll give you an extra minute.
We are like-minded Democrats. We object to our party leadership endorsement of Robert Restaino for mayor. We feel our moral standards suffer irreparable damage for the heinous immoral action Restaino carried out against 46 innocent persons, jailing them because of his mental instability. If you, Mr. Zajac, Mr. Miles, if you want a Republican mayor, drop Restaino. It looks like you support him. Where's the Republican unity? You support a Democrat who's running against your Republican mayor, and you're supporting Centennial Park. You're giving him a soapbox to speak on. It looks like you support him. Where party and elected representation unity? Let me repeat that, because I got extra minute, right? Where is your party elected representative and party leadership unity? Is it lying within you Republicans that you support Centennial Park, which is his bandstand to become mayor? It was when he first started out. Now, I mentioned, it's not easy to say this. It's not easy to say that when I heard what he did by jailing those innocent people, that news went all around the world. Now, moral turpitude, the meaning of it, and I'll post it again, it means anything that shocks a community. Now, we are a local community, right? That shocked the world. Look on it, BBC, Al Jazeera, Croatian news, I don't, maybe it made Sputnik, Russian news, who knows? But that shocked the world, and I personally have mentioned it before, but this, my friends, and I consider you my friends, this, my friends, is for the record. This, what he did, has morally devastated many, many people in this city. And you can hear about it. You can hear about it spoken on 19th Street in our friend Mr. Nix's place, how people were sitting there and saying, how in the world can the city, can the people of this city elect a man that went to that extent and justifies himself by sitting in this chair, by giving his brother the best job in the city, by putting his daughter at the head of the judicial department in Niagara Falls, cousin or another judge in, what do you call it, town of Niagara? You don't like it? That's too bad.
Pastor Douglas.
And so, Mother Douglas, I definitely just wanted to personally tell you, she's your inspiration. I want to give people their flowers while they're here. I don't want to wait until God take you from us. So at the end of the day, I just want to let you know that I appreciate you as a member of the body of the council. Appreciate you pushing your way out, being an elder and a pillar of the city that's still here, because she was here, like when I was a little baby, she was still doing good work, you know what I mean? So I just want to let you know that we appreciate you and thank you. Thank you much. I appreciate everything about you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, and I thank you for allowing us to come here to pray. I thank the Lord for that. You have been good in allowing us to come and pray for our city. Yes, and let's see, I forgot exactly how many years we've been coming here. And we thank the Lord for what you are doing. And will you allow me to pray for you now? Thank you, Lord. Receive your blessing.
Bring it closer.
May the Lord bless you and keep you. May his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May his countenance be upon you and give you peace. In the name of Jesus, Yeshua HaMashiach, amen.
Oh, give me a minute. Okay. For the good of the community. Representing our community, I stand here before you on behalf of the husband and wife at 39th and Sherwood who had electricity concerns due to road sidewalk repairs across the street from them and was told by the city administration to file a lawsuit to recover costs to repair damage. A lawyer to represent such as bare minimum $2,500, which they cannot afford. I'm here for the residents on 36th Street who have called with concerns of dead animals, and they have to wait days, sometimes weeks, for them to be cleaned up and handled. I'm here for our children, innocently just waiting for us to simply point them in the right direction. Before I go on, I want to just mention, thank you, sir, for pointing out the potholes, because you would think, I don't drink, I don't do any illegal substances, but you would think that I'm drunk when I'm driving. My mom even says, geez, we're going to get pulled over, because I have a little way that I have to drive to avoid these potholes. And I challenge everyone here, because I'm going to do so. It's Robert, R-O-B-E-R-T, Restaino, R-E-S-T-A-I-N-O, at Niagara Falls, New York, spelled all out, but not the New York, it's NY.gov. Send him. You know, if you live on 16th Street, if you live on 86th Street, for example, that person on South 86th Street that challenged my petitions, go ahead, Mr. Oswald, send in your pothole requests. It's not funny. Additionally, let me get back to mine. No growth can occur within, most especially when there are barriers. My feet are tired, my mouth is dry. Wonder why? Because I don't have to try. It's who I am and how I was raised. Enough about me. Let's get back to our city. Within normal households, within our city, residents are struggling. Sometimes we cannot all get along. However, unless it's your problem or your family's concern, people just simply don't care at all whatsoever. With election year as it is, and June 27th approaches, I want to remind individuals that are running for office, because I just was knocked out, and I want to just mention, because I'm sure you might have followed it on the Niagara Reporter, they were so, I'm appreciative to them for my word for word, and luckily I had taped the telephone conversation between myself and the commissioner for Democratic Party, that my petitions, when I sent them in 505, well, because in order to fit them inside the envelope, and you reach out to the Democratic, representatives. For example, let me just put out there, Colin Ligamari. I reached out to her for assistance, but you don't get answers. It's kind of like at City Hall. And I don't know, oh, just go and search, and you try, but my plate's full in general, and I'm trying, but then, so it must be bound or clipped or what have you. But I did recall my son had pointed out too, remember we did put the rubber band around it too, but I didn't put that binder clip on because it wouldn't fit in the envelope, and the post office gave me this big, concern. So then, because it wasn't bound, but yet they were saying, don't worry, we're not going to say anything. Someone would have to challenge you. And additionally, it arrived one day early. So you guys, have campaigned, so you know where I'm coming from with this, but maybe you can assist future people, because, I'm not sure. I've contemplated, and I'm not really sure that I'd ever want to run again. But what I'm saying is because you're a day early when your paperwork comes in, normally people, are like, yeah, no big deal. But the person behind my not being in is our mayor. I've been told that clearly. And that's ridiculous. And I'm not the only candidate that happened to. But at the end of the day, for those that are still here, I'm not campaigning for him in any way. I'm not going to even look his way, but he is running this year. And I think Cauley asked some really good questions at these meetings, and you got to take into consideration that, well, y'all may agree that he's, great for city council. I do too, but I really wish he would have ran for mayor. Okay, anyway, setting that aside, and I had to say it that way because, otherwise people, you respect that. City council meetings. Oh, yes, I want to say, those that are running, because Cauley's doing the best that he can. My son calls him Dr. Cauley. It's just the respect and recognition that he has for him. The other individuals that are running, they never come up here to speak. Dante used to come regularly. Boom, boom, boom. We all know. I mean, he's a household name. Additionally, please know that in conclusion, that when I speak up here, I'm speaking for the good of the community all the time. I'm not trying to, 5 seconds left. I'm not trying to make a fool of myself at all, but I'm just trying to point out the corruption, you see? And I think you all see it. Thank you.
Marlene Lofty? No, Marlene? Our final speaker is Ralph Jeremy.
Good afternoon. My name is Ralph Jeremy. I live at 9020 Cayuga Drive, and I've been a resident of Niagara Falls for 40 years. My problem that I have is last year I had the city come to my house on behalf of the mayor and tell me that I was a piece of shit. They're going to continue to take my stuff regardless if I like it or not. And then, I'm not going to really say too many names, but even the cops that were there allowed them to come to my house, go in my garage, and pull stuff out and throw it away. When I brought everything up, that, oh, well, it doesn't matter because we're the city. Now, you, Mr. Crowley, made a thing about how you respect and want to give respect to the cops for the good jobs they do, which I respect that, and I do too. But when you sign under, when a cop becomes a cop and they sign an oath to serve and protect the city? That means the individuals who run, or not run the city, but live in the city. So how is it that a cop can tell the city officials they can come to someone's house and take whatever the hell they want to with no consequences? How is it that a cop can look at you and say, well, because they're the city, they can do it? It's not right. They should be held accountable for the same things we are. Another thing, after they did all this crap, they fined me $17,000 and tried to take my house, which I'm paying back off now. Last year, I got sick after taking the COVID shot or whatever it was. I was diagnosed with heart failure. Right now, my heart is at 32%, and I have a defibrillator in my side. I could die right now, and I'd have 5,000 volts going through my body. This, between the code enforcement and DPW, they stressed me out so bad, I ended up in a hospital for 4.5 months. Another thing, Mr. Miles, last time I was here, you asked a question and a statement. You said, we have one of the biggest wonders in this world, which is the falls, which bring millions of people here a year. The question you asked is, how do you keep the people here? By having the people run the city, like certain cops, certain political people, code enforcement, and DPW, that's not going to happen. Nobody wants to be here. I'm ready to actually sell my house and move just out to Sanborn because I can't deal with this crap anymore. They're going to kill me. Last thing I want to say is I'm actually in court for what happened last year. I've done everything I've been asked to do minus paint my house and fix my garage roof. My property is clean. The cars are gone. Everything. Now, they took the stuff, got the money for the scrap metal because they took motors and transmissions, which everybody knows is worth money. So they got the money for that. Then you want to fine me on top of that $6,000 once. And then again and again and again. How is this right? You guys are double dipping. My biggest concern, though, amongst all this, is I want to know why Mr. Restaino has his brother taking pictures of my fucking house for the last 6 months. I apologize for the cuss word, but I'm furious. I don't know that man. For all I know, he could be a pedophile. So why is it for... And I know this because the district attorney said Anthony Restaino has been taking pictures of my house for 6 months and be giving it to her. Now, the judge actually went ahead and ordered the guy who was your guy that leads code enforcement. It's kind of funny how the 2 days prior to my court date, that guy quit. So he can't go to court. Why is that? So now I'm being told that more than likely I'm going to do everything I can to do to save my house, and then I'm probably going to sell it, and I'm going to leave. But the way this is going is completely wrong, and you guys, and I don't mean to say this disrespectfully, you guys being people that we voted to have you here should be doing something about this. Because the next time they come to my house, it's not going to be pretty, and I will stand my ground. That's all I got to say.
Excuse me. And no disrespect to anyone, but Ms. Dolson was in here before, what you said, 5:50 or whatever, and taking the sheet in. We was right out there looking for it. Yeah. Yes, most certainly. And I don't have to stand up here and lie about that. Yeah, okay. But, well, Ms. Dolson have quite a bit to say. And if she hadn't had, why is it we have to pick up that paper 10 minutes before, which, like I said, I was standing right out there looking for that paper. Yeah, but I was there 10 minutes. Well, she had this paper in here. Okay, so while we're talking about all that, all I want to say is about the good of the city and giving out a card about that code enforcement.
I can appreciate that, ma'am,
Okay,
but unfortunately, again,
but,
you're not on the sign-in list.
wait 1 second. I don't usually do this, But you all know that it's a house on 15th Street that's nailed
Ms.
up.
Tolson, if you have an issue like that, you could definitely bring it to us and we can look into it for you. But.
Why would I bring that
Because you're not
just
on the
to
list.
you?
Ms. Tolson, you're not on the list. I know you show a lot of respect to this body and the mayor and
Most
everyone that
certainly.
comes. You do.
Most
I know
certainly.
you do. And that's why I'm
Okay,
trying to
so
show you
when
the
this
same
is,
courtesy.
when we finish here, then I want to talk to you.
Okay.
And you really, I don't know if her clock or her watch is different than ours, but you definitely, yeah. I wouldn't care what it was.
Thank you, Ms. Tolson. Is that it? Okay. Thank you, everyone, for your speaking time tonight. Meeting adjourned. We can chat.